Welcome to History Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Cartagena, Gallese lead Orlando City over Nashville 1-0 in series opener. U.S. proxy or Asia's trusted partner? Australia must choose. A big misunderstanding, men accused of Nazi salute outside a Jewish museum plead not guilty. Louis Oliver Gropp dies at 88, led Shelter magazines through turmoil. Moreno scores twice as Villarreal beats Granada in pulsating Spanish League match. Cartagena, Gallese lead Orlando City over Nashville 1-0 in series opener. Associated Press. Orlando City defeated Nashville SC 1-0 in the first leg of their playoff series on Monday night. Wilder Cartagena scored the lone goal of the match in the 41st minute, while goalkeeper Pedro Gallese kept a clean sheet with 3 saves. The victory puts Orlando City in a favorable position heading into the second leg, which will be played in Nashville on November 7. U.S. proxy or Asia's trusted partner? Australia must choose. South China Morning Post. The uncomfortable truth is that, unless Australia rethinks its deep lack of independence from Anglo-American interests, it will be unable to establish itself as a trusted partner to other Asia-Pacific nations, not least China. The AUKUS Security Pact and Australia's planned purchase of its first nuclear submarines are a regrettable case in point. Australia's ongoing failure to engage sustainably with China, and Asia in general, stems from its historic inability to build genuine trust with its would-be Asian partners. At the root of this problem is a perceived lack of sincerity, compounded by some Australian decisions that have eroded trust, such as the AUKUS Pact. A big misunderstanding, men accused of Nazi salute outside a Jewish museum plead not guilty. ABC. 3 men have pleaded not guilty to charges of behaving in an offensive manner and knowingly displaying a Nazi symbol outside a Jewish museum in Sydney. The men were charged in October after police were called to the museum, where the alleged Nazi salutes took place. The lawyer for one of the men stated that there was no history of Nazi sympathizing and no Nazi paraphernalia found on them. The lawyer described the incident as a big misunderstanding and stated that it had nothing to do with the conflict between Israel and Palestine. The case will return to court in January. Moreno scores twice as Villarreal beats Granada in pulsating Spanish League match. Associated Press. Villarreal defeated Granada 3-2 in a hard-fought match in the Spanish League. Villarreal scored 3 goals in the opening half hour, with Gerard Moreno standing out with 2 goals. Granada fought back with 2 goals before halftime but was unable to find the equalizer in the second half. The result extended Granada's winless run against Villarreal. Granada sits second from bottom in La Liga, while Villarreal is in 12th place. Frank Howard, towering slugger whose homers were 2, dies at 87. New York Times. Frank Howard, the former baseball player, has died at the age of 87. Howard played for the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Washington Senators and hit 382 home runs during his career. Twice he was the American League home run leader and he was named the National League's Rookie of the Year in 1960. Howard also struck out 1,460 times. In 1960, he hit a ball over the left field wall at Forbes Field in Pittsburgh that was found alongside a parked car some 560 feet from home plate. In a game against Whitey Ford in Game 1 of the 1963 World Series, he hit a drive that landed just to the left of the Yankee greats in center field, about 460 feet from home plate. A leaning tower in Italy, not Pisa, becomes a worry. New York Times. The Gallese Tower in Bologna, Italy, has been closed off due to concerns over its slant. The tower, which leans more than the famous Tower of Pisa, has historically slanted 4 degrees, but recent surveys have discovered unexpected rotation and other movements. The area has been closed to allow for more thorough monitoring, and Mayor Matteo Lepore has said that the tower needs to be secured and restored. The restoration plan has not yet been decided, but it is expected to take many years to complete. What a third world war would mean for investors. Economist. The Economist discusses whether or not financial markets are underpricing the risk of a global conflict, using the example of the First World War as a reminder that the cost of war is difficult to predict. The article concludes that even if investors expect a major war, there is little they can do to reliably profit from it. This is because war involves a level of radical uncertainty beyond the calculable risks most investors have become accustomed to. Biden AI plan is one step in avoiding crypto trap. Reuters breaking views. President Biden's executive order on artificial intelligence, AI, sets regulatory guidelines but leaves a gap for Congress to fill, which could lead to piecemeal enforcement similar to the cryptocurrency industry. The new order aims to address the risks associated with AI, such as deepfakes and national security threats. However, it does not provide specific rules governing the technology. Without a thoughtful approach and clear rules, the development of AI in the US may be hampered, potentially causing important technologies to move outside of the country. This could lead to a loss of influence in steering AI development and have negative consequences for the US job market. Keith Giffen, comic book maverick for DC and Marvel, dies at 70. New York Times. Keith Giffen, a celebrated comic book artist and writer who began his career when comics were still on the fringes of popular culture, in the 1970s, but who rode the superhero wave toward the mainstream with DC Comics' Justice League and Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, popular franchises that became Hollywood films, died on October 9 in Tampa, Florida. He was 70. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.